Good evening, everyone, and welcome to PlayerWon. My name is Nick Weasel Frymett. I am one of the hosts of Distracted Driving. Over to my right, which is actually on my to stage left, also known as audience right, it's Trace P. Evans. How are you doing today, sir?
You know, I was going to do the whole thing where I did the dead stare and then all of a sudden, or something like that, but man, all that direction stuff just threw me off. I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic. And when I say fantastic, I'm exhausted.
Okay. It's been a long week.
It has been a long week, and it's only Wednesday or Tuesday for some of us because of the holiday.
Oh, Tuesday. Don't ever think of it like a Tuesday. Think of it like, always think of it like a Wednesday. You miss a day, it's a 4-day week. You start on Tuesday.
You do.
I know.
Technically, you do start a 4-day week on a Tuesday.
A 4-day weekend, always push it towards the Friday. Don't ever think you're missing Friday.
All right.
There's always a Friday somewhere.
All right.
In the week.
So we have a special surprise coming for you, hopefully very soon in this show. But for those of you who have no idea, this is Distracted Driving. Distracted Driving is the show where we play a racing game while getting distracted by either talking to ourselves, and by doing that we get distracted naturally because trying to do two things at once is usually quite difficult for me, at least. Or we get distracted by you guys in the chat asking us dumb, stupid questions. That happens. I need to hope that my controller turns on because I forgot to turn it on before the show started, which I should stop forgetting to do.
I thought the whole thing you were doing before the show was like, I need to start it because otherwise controllers act wonky.
No, I mean...
That much when I talk about Beach Clash, Knights and Warriors, and Blade Warriors?
We're going to talk about that, actually, because I want to go back in time and talk about this stuff. So we're playing Distance. Distance is a fantastic racing game that's currently in early access that is Tron-like. Design.
Most certainly not back in time. It's like in the future.
No, so the game is in the future, but we're going to the past. So we're going to get this started up. I know, I've just blown his mind.
Okay. Bleeding a little internally, but I'm okay with this.
Will you still be able to do the show even though you're bleeding internally?
But I've done that. I've done worse before. Let's go.
You've done. All right, sounds good. Here we go. Hey, fun fact. Merry Christmas.
So, a fun note, there's an experimental version of this game out there that doesn't have the Christmas stuff, but we have elected to stick with the normal version of the game that's not beta.
Yeah, even though this is technically beta. No, hang on. That is a beta.
Oh, but
because we're in a beta, and that's a beta of a beta, right?
I think there's another term for it, but darn if I can remember at this point.
Great.
Unstable release, I don't know.
We are going to do some different things this time around. Instead of doing racing like we do, by the way, you should find my server now. We're going to do something like reverse tag.
Oh, hey, there you are.
Oh, hey, California. Whoops, that's not what I want to do. I can't get the text. There we go. Alright, now, let's see, level. Community levels. Well, should we start with the... Nah, we're just gonna go straight to the community levels. I'm gonna break everything. In fact, I'm gonna start here because I want to.
I believe California has tried this stuff before.
Oh, I am absolutely positive. So yes, we have some racing. We're gonna wait for a few more people, see if anyone else is willing to come and join. We are 3 of 6 right now. So actually, you know what? People can join anytime. So reverse tag, one player is tagged and then the timer increases. Everyone else chases them down. First player whose timer hits 3 minutes wins.
Oftentimes they call this king.
Yes. Yeah, that is a good way of doing it as well. So I guess let's just get into this. This is the mode we have not done yet. So before the show, we were getting the show ready and talking a whole bunch of stuff, and Trace was going and looking up videos of things from back in the day.
Well, it started because a certain Giant Bomb's Jeff Gerstmann tweeted out a weird video, and it was weird. Let's be real about this. It was incredibly weird. Of a sudden death match in a roller derby.
Oh.
Roller derbies are usually pretty normal, I would think. At least in my world, they're normal. But the sudden death was involving an alligator pit. And
Oh, yeah.
not just involving an alligator pit,
No!
but
I'm it now in that wreck.
I'm it now.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
There
But,
you are.
this is a block port from... This is a Mario Kart, okay.
Yeah, this is totally Mario Kart 64.
Yep, it sure is.
Aw, damn it.
So the whole thing is you can't let your orb get anywhere near it.
Yes, agreed. Which this corner is going to become a problem for us then.
Yep.
Alright, nope, you got out of the corner.
So alligator pits, and the whole point is to shove your opponent into them. It's like, what is this even about? This is not anything I'm used to. But then, right afterwards, I look at the related videos, and it shows Knights and Warriors, which was like a very weird American Gladiators ripoff, except medieval times.
Oh!
And gosh, that was just... It's something I'm gonna have to watch later. Because I don't know what to make of it. It's weird.
Balls. Yeah, so this got me thinking about great... Whoopsie daisy. This got me thinking about other great old shows that we used to watch that were kind of dumb. So, did you ever watch the remake of the American Gladiators?
You mean the new one that was just a couple years back?
Was it only a couple years back?
Was it the one that had like
The one with Hulk Hogan.
and the one MMA fighter in it?
Yes, the one with Hulk
that was
Hogan
just a couple years
hosting.
back. That was produced by the guys actually are behind The Biggest Loser.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Which
I
includes
missed
people like J.D.
that.
Roth, who you might remember from some other stuff.
Okay.
Like Funhouse and Masters of the Maze.
Okay.
I just have to nerd out about things like that. That was my childhood.
Oh, I'm it!
You're it.
I'm it! Oh, this is bad. I'm totally dead.
Bumper
Totally
does something.
screwed. Oh no, never mind. I'm not screwed. Whee! Alright. But, yeah, and then I got thinking about even better stuff. Like, man, remember back in the day, Nickelodeon's, game shows and all their great stuff, like, obviously my personal favorite. Oh, Jesus, how did you... Nice.
I just sniped it. That's what I do.
Sure did. Legends of the Hidden Temple,
That was a great one.
which in my opinion was my favorite one. Nickelodeon
Classic.
Guts with the
Guts.
aggro Crag.
Yep, and a very loud Michael O'Malley.
Yes.
And more work, of course, Mo.
Mo. Yup, exactly.
And she's a comedian now, you realize. She does comedian stuff.
Really?
Yeah, last I checked, maybe she's doing other stuff now, but for a while she's trying to
Oh, I
stand up
don't have a
comedy.
clue. That's weird, I guess, but cool. Was she ever, like, funny?
I never heard anything about her that was funny, but, you know. Her stand-up was, like, maybe... Oh, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great.
Gotcha.
So it was
there-
mainly about the fact that she was about to have a baby.
Oh, gotcha. Are there places that I can, like, bring down my cooldown? Am I missing that entirely?
Stunts cool down.
Oh,
In fact, that's what I'm doing.
gotcha. By the way, R. Shenlin, co-host of One Vanilla here on PlayerWon, says, I would say watch from my laptop. It says that it doesn't want to load in other things in the same time without lagging the video horribly. But before I go, I ask you, what about the Year Beast?
Oh, the Year Beast.
I'm
Gosh,
apparently
we're
it.
gonna go to Dota talk already.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Year Beast is great. If
Year
you
Beast is wonderful because other people don't know how to play it.
pretty much, but
I mean,
it's
let's be
also
real about that.
so. When I said that it was great, I was actually lying at the same time because it's also pay to win, which sucks. But other than that part of it, it's all right. It's pretty good. Oopsie daisy! I shouldn't have turned around. That was real dumb. So yeah, minus the fact that it's pay to win, you get a lot of rare items, and yeah, a lot of people are too stupid to know what they're doing, so, you know.
Yep.
It's easy to win.
Let's explain it for people who don't know Dota.
Sure.
It's like a normal Dota match, except every 5 minutes, this tremendously powerful beast spawns in your point and goes down one of the 3 lanes, randomly. Now,
you might be surprised to hear that he's called the Year Beast.
Yeah. Now, he can be told to go elsewhere for points. He can be told to attack things of your choice for points. And he can give powers and abilities for points. But everything has a cost, otherwise he just does his own thing and he's very easy to kill.
Yes.
So basically it's all about just taking this pool of points you have, much of which can be purchased from the Valve store, and just absolutely go to town on buying as much as...
That's Walt! Ah, Jesus! Ah! Hi there, Trace. That was totally a wall, guys. Totally a wall. I'm really not doing well with this. Like, I like the map because it is an homage to... That was real dumb. It's an homage to... California's done this before.
Yeah, it's clear it has.
An homage to Mario Kart 64. However, oh, I'm gonna blow up. No, go forward. Yeah. I can't go fast enough to cut him off. Apparently, like I'm just not catching up to get in front of him.
I need to head him off a pass, and I'm not doing that.
No! Oh, I was behind him. Good job.
Yeah, he owned it.
All right, one moment here.
So yeah, it's a lot of just buy all these powers, and other ones can be used to use ultimate type tools or devices on your opponents, like strike them down with lightning, silence them, or you can heal your own team. And they keep changing this up a bit. There is some other more broken stuff, and they've added some broken stuff since.
They have. Cannot
but basically,
deny that.
the whole point is a lot of people don't actually bother to focus on their beast. And so what you can do is you just rush to their beast, you knock it, you kill it, and then you spend money constantly in yours, giving it double damage and heals all the time, and it just runs down a lane and destroys it. Everything in that lane. And then from there, it's just putting more pressure on them through that lane and other stuff, and it just makes things really awkward for everybody.
Agreed. Okay, hang on. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go forward.
All right, here we go.
Oh, there we go.
I would like to welcome someone to the show who see, now I didn't think of how I would introduce him. This is the first time we've ever had a games developer live on the show with us. So, I'd like to welcome Jordan Hemenway?
Hemenway, you got that.
Hemenway to the show, developer of Distance. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing today?
You're
wonderful.
Fantastic. I need to switch the layout a bit here. 1 second. There we go. Alright, close enough. There we go. Let us go on to the next... Whoops. Empire Stadium is what we're going to do. So... Jordan, we have played your game multiple times on this show because we've taken to like it, and so far we've done a lot of racing, so we're trying out some other modes now, but I can't remember the name of the game that, oh, hello, where, are we in Zero Gravity?
Yeah, we're in Zero Gravity, don't worry about it.
Oh, whoa. Or not. No, never mind. Where did teleport?
You probably shouldn't be distracted right now, Weasley. You need to ask that question. I don't even know where you're going with it.
Oh, I got destroyed. Okay. This is going swimmingly. But, I can't remember, what was the name of the game that was the inspiration for this?
Do you mean like the spiritual predecessor?
Yeah.
Oh, there was a game we worked on when we were in college called Nitronic Rush, and that was the, basically, like, that game had a massive number of influences, and then when we worked on this game, like, mostly same influences, but in reality, Nitronic Rush was the big inspiration.
Gotcha. Okay.
And now you showed the Tronic Rush at PAX one time, didn't you? I recall playing it at one of those, I thought.
Yeah. So I think, I don't know how, we actually may have done like 2 or even 3 packs with it was kind of crazy. It had some kind of a deep over stuff, and we just kind of got tucked in there with all the different student games that were like, showing off, trying to, get feedback and stuff for competitions. So yeah, we were always like randomly packed in there somewhere in a corner of PAX, and then we finally actually were like a legit booth for the first time last year with Distance.
Yeah, and that booth last
year. Yeah, it's weird
was
actually
amazing.
The sheer number of people that remembered playing it. Well, what was amazing?
I'm sorry, the booth you had. I apologize for interrupting. Everything, the lights and the whole using a flight stick and steering wheel at the same time, that was just...
Ooh! Oh, that's an idea I didn't think about. Flight stick and steering wheel at the same time?
Yeah, like basically we got... It's fine because like you set up like I think we were using the Logitech G27,
yep.
And we got like the rumble supported and we got all that stuff in, and then it's just kind of ironic because you be mostly in control. You have more control than usual with the steering wheel, but it's still not enough. Because if you want to actually rotate the car and do all that stuff, you have a whole nother dimension of control required. So we added just a pretty generic flight stick just on the side. It was a little dangerous with people getting in and out because everybody, it's like they focus when they want to sit down. They look at the steering wheel and then they don't realize they're about to take out the joystick just right off to the side of the seat. But no, it was actually pretty amazing how that came together. It was like only a couple weeks it took to like build that whole thing and do the code for the force feedback and all that stuff, like the crazy crunch mode right before PAX to get that all working.
Now, did that include the work on the lights they had strobing around the whole arcade cabinet those few weeks?
Yeah, that was like mostly what I was doing. I worked on the force feedback part of it, and then I worked on the crazy lights. So basically, I'm not sure the fastest way to look at this, but basically, if you like go to refract.com, we posted about it, kind of like a little bit of a making of thing, and it was, I think, it would have been probably like December 8th or 9th or something last year, right before we launched on Early Access, we like posted this thing. And it basically was supposed to take the in-game like audio data and then set it up so that it would actually show on these physical lights that were on that outlined the actual arcade cabinet. And we just had some like patterns. It was basically just like MIDI data. So you could have like these pulsars that would move and scale, and then, then you'd have... pulse in slowly for like slow dramatic moments or like the quick flash. Whole goal is just to distract people immensely so they would come over and check out the booth. But I was pretty happy that it actually felt like it did contribute to the game in a weird way. You get this like weird on the edge of your periphery, this weird sensation of everything I'm doing is like pulsing the music and just going crazy.
So speaking of that, have you heard of Philips Ambiex?
Yeah, totally. I actually have them.
Yeah, so do I. And saying that, so the sad part is that first of all, they changed them so they're the lights made by Mad Catz now. I actually have the old $100 and something one with the speakers and everything.
Oh wow. Yeah, I like have the picture one like right here. Sorry, I took off my headphones to like grab it, but yeah, they basically, I don't know if anyone can see from my screen, but basically, yeah, they have like a just a random light just like buried inside this like diffuser, and it's supposed to like match to the edge of the screen or whatever, so that it makes it feel like it lights up the room with the colors of the screen. I actually did this experiment where I liked the idea of this, but ironically, I don't know if you had the same experience that I did with these, but they were kind of delayed. They like, for the most part, they were close, and they made it. You have like one behind your screen on the side of your screen. Then like if you like turn your head real quick to a bright area, like brights up the room, but it's like a little bit delayed, and then it kind of feels a little laggy and weird sometimes with like fast-paced games. So one of the things I wanted to try was I actually took the lighting tech that we had for the booth and wrote code that did the exact same thing, and I mounted it on the back of a monitor so that it would be like the edge of the monitor would correlate to specific pixels on the side of the screen.
Sure.
And It's like the most amazing thing if you have all the lights off. It just is like this really eerie feeling of like your TV's insanely bright somehow.
Yeah, I have mine right behind, so I use a TV as my primary monitor, and I have my MBX stuff. And so with the old version, the $100 version, it actually came with a one that kind of just sits along the back and just lights up the back wall as well. So that's your third light, and it's fantastic. Yeah. Ooh, did we return to the game lobby? Oh, he's downloading it, I think. Was confused there for a sec. But yeah, so basically, oh, I just went in the same. Hang on, sorry about that. Back to lobby. Talking, and trying to do things at the same time is just not going well at all.
This game is one of the worst ever in terms of like trying to do any type of interview or talking while you're playing. I've been playing it for thousands of hours and I still can barely. I'm watching the stream right now and I'm getting distracted myself.
So, but yeah, so that's one of the things that I really like, and with the AmbiX specifically, like, so they do still have AmbiX. It is done in more of PSEG is not ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
It is done in more of a way where it's just lights, and it's a lot less lights. It's supposed to be ambient lighting instead of what this was, which was overpowering. So technically these can work with like any game, so I could get this to work with distance if I really wanted to. It would generically choose colors based on what is on the screen. What is on the screen right now? Oh, what? I went through you. What?
I don't know what happened there, but I maybe I'm a ghost.
You saw that? Oh, and then you flew.
Taking the skies.
Whee! So, so I could technically get to work, but I love games that, some of the only games that do it are Hawks and DEF CON are one of the only native ones. And I love what DEF CON does with it. It's my favorite thing to show off my speakers.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna write that down. Just I've actually never seen it.
Oh, so basically, yeah, it's a generic color during usually green or whatever, and then as the DEF CON level raises, it actually it flashes a certain color depending on the DEF CON level.
Oh, cool.
So it's really neat. I'm never gonna catch up to him. How do I catch up to him?
Find a way. Find a way.
I'm trying.
Cut him off at the pass.
Whoops. That was a cool trick. That didn't work at all, though. So, yeah, but that's something that another game that does stuff like that. Oh, hi, I'm it now. See ya.
Run
Disco Dodgeball. It doesn't have to do with the speakers, but Disco Dodgeball has a music-based thing, like you were talking about, which I really like a lot. Where depending on the music that's going on in the game, the world changes. The lights on it change to be, whatever is going on to the beat of the music. And he actually got a plug-in for it and everything, and I believe we were talking about last time, actually. You were talking about the fact that you have a whoopsie daisy. You actually do it MIDI-based instead.
Yep. Oddly enough, there actually is some procedural audio stuff in there. It's super subtle, though, so vast majority of people are not going to notice, but it just gives it a tiny bit of organicness to it.
This level is actually doing a great job of it, because on the outside of it, it is pulsing according to the beat.
Yep. Yeah, actually, this level is, like, surprisingly, for being, like, a level that's supposed to be kind of visually noisy, it's not too much.
Yeah.
Like, it's supposed to kind of just be crazy looking, but not not so distracting you can't tell what is going on.
Wait, where'd you... Wait!
I was hiding under the track, don't worry about it.
Oh.
That was sneaky.
It was completely by accident, but, I'm gonna take credit for it anyways.
That's a good call.
But yeah, so this is we've played, being a racing game show, we've played a lot of racing games on here, but this one is one of the more unique ones, and also one of the few that has... Trace, have we played many others that have Steam Workshop support?
I don't think we've played, or the only one's come even close, and it didn't have workshop support, but it had, like, downloadable level support, was, Ridge Racer Unbounded.
That's right.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Had to say that with a sigh because there's some very strange levels in that one.
Yeah, the problem is, and I can tell you that the level quality by the people who've made them is exponentially better in this game than in that. People would just kind of throw. Then again, I don't think so. I've never actually used the tools before. Can you tell us a little bit about the tools that go into creating your own level in this?
Yeah, sure. I mean, so compared to, if you know what Ridge Racer's editor is like, it's kind of radically different than that. It's a radically different approach, I guess, than that, because Ridge Racer was kind of all about, basically you have like these chunks, and they tried to make it insanely easy for someone to be able to paste together a level really quickly. But kind of the issue was, if you wanted your level to like look special or different at all, you had to go extreme with like how you set up the chunks. You know, like maybe you could set it up where it's just infinite ramp kind of like setting up, and that was like the craziest thing I ever saw. Was someone, you know, it just felt like you had to exploit the editor to make something cool.
Yes.
Ours is kind of the opposite. Like ours is basically, it's kind of hard to just make. It's not hard. It's challenging to just make a level in 5 minutes that just looks as good as a story mode level in the game normally. You kind of have to put a lot of effort in, but creating a track really quickly isn't really too hard. It's just because of the fact the car can jump and fly and rotate, you kind of have an insane number of combinations that you can do. But anyways, the basis of the track editor is basically that we kind of let you do anything. It's partially just like an object editing tool. You can basically put down any random object and rotate it, and there isn't really any concept of like taking groups or sections and like quickly snapping together chunks so that you can make a level really fast. The only thing that really has that is like the actual roads. You can just pick, you know, whatever, like bank left, bank right, straight, corkscrew. But for the most part, if you want to place down buildings, or even in this level, there's like different ramps and different obstacles, and the big crazy generator in the center. Those are all freeform. You just place them down however you want and set them up. So basically, people can go in and like if they wanted to recreate like a Mario level or something like that, they manually place everything, you know, down to the meter and do whatever they want for a while. But you can go for it. We don't stop you. You run into that pretty quickly. Their computer's more powerful than others, and they don't realize that after you put in like 7,000 obstacles, all of a sudden it's going to start running a little slower. But yeah, it's super freeform.
I don't think we've ever seen any frame rate dips yet, actually, now that I think about it.
Well, that's pretty good.
I do have a thing where my CPU gets crazy.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, the game is in early access, and it's you know, the whole beta thing right now, where we're not sure when the game, quote-unquote final gold version is going to be done, and optimization, at least in our experience so far, it's kind of all about we do the best we can with what we have, but if you optimize before a lot of things are completely finished, then you're just going to have to re-optimize later. So currently, optimization is like an everyday event. We're always trying to improve it.
Sure, that makes sense. Now, for those of you wondering and who see this and go, oh, this looks real good, and you know what improvements are getting made, I can definitely tell you that one of the holy, this is a gigantic level. I
love this already.
Oh
no.
Yeah, this is the pinball level.
Oh, this is the pit. Those are giant flippers.
Gosh.
Oh my goodness sakes.
Yeah, they actually changed this. Initially, when you start up the level, it would actually like fling you all forward, but I think the physics were kind of like not, you know, they were not deterministic. Sometimes they would do really weird things, so they turned it off.
Sure.
But if you kind of look at it, you got the big, you're basically starting in the plunger, and then there's the paddles, and if you look up in the far wall, there's a big high score list with a bunch of community, like, people.
I really like the high score list. I saw that as I was going by. Yeah, agreed, California. This one is kind of big for 3 people. Remember, if you have distance and you want to get in here, this server is totally open to everyone. Just look for one that says PlayerWon on it, and you can join us. Oh boy. What was I gonna say now? I got sidetracked by this map. Oh God!
New features that the beta versions this has.
Yeah. So if you follow Torched on Twitter, TORCHT, you can. That's a dead end. Oh no, it's not a. Oh no, it totally is. Come here, Trace.
No, I'm not coming here. You stay back there. Anyways.
He is improving a lot of the UI stuff. The UI stuff's probably the stuff that's lacking right now a lot, and the menus can be a bit rough at times, but, ow! I got hit by a flipper.
Yes, you did.
But there are some improvements that he actually posted just today, so you should go check that out, because it's some, you have to jump to get to that. Huh.
The one that really I'm thrilled about is automatic downloading of levels.
Yes.
Yeah.
You enter a server, because that's one thing we ran into last time, where we had a couple people who really wanted to join us for some tracks, and they just didn't have the level at the moment, so that's perfect.
Yeah, it's so basically the easiest way to describe what we're doing is like we released on early access December 9th, and then we did a Christmas update which just had like a little bit of new content and some tweaks, and then we decided, okay, the next major thing that we need to do before we create any new content or do any major I guess like mode additions or changes or anything like that, is we wanted to set up the infrastructure even better for the workshop content, just because we're getting really close to 500 workshop levels, and a lot of them are really worth playing. Like, honestly, the vast majority are pretty incredible. So we want to make sure that people are actually like finding the new levels, and it's not one of those things where, like, you know, some guy who posted his level like 9 months ago is just because it's more played, it's more popular, it's all you see. So we changed up the main menu, and we changed up kind of how you can look at the levels, the level select menu in general. And it's been like this colossal project because it's kind of a lot of underlying features and stuff. So if you play the game right now, the main menu is still the Christmas update.
Yep, we know.
So, where did you get that song? Because I love it a lot.
Oh. Yeah, that's like one of the main things I think that's keeping it so that people don't absolutely hate. Because, oh my goodness, if it was like not a remix of a Christmas song, I think people would come and find us in their sleep. But
probably.
It's like, yeah, it doesn't sound exactly like a Christmas song, but it's actually a remix I did. It's just, I think it's Carol of the Bells remixed.
Oh, so good. It
yeah,
seriously,
if you go to
it's
my
worth
SoundCloud,
it.
it's randomly on there.
Great.
I'm glad you like it.
California in the in-game chat says, please keep Christmas music in the level editor, LOL.
Oh yeah, so yeah, that song's not going anywhere. We changed the main menu music back to the old one, but if you want to make a level that uses that music, go for it, because more people that use it, the more it's like okay with me that it's in there.
That is fantastic. Wait, what? What? Come back here.
It's called Flyby. You should try it sometime.
I have done it to you a few times.
Okay, see?
I was gonna ask another question about what we were talking about, and I cannot remember what we were talking about now.
Once again, this game is perhaps the epitome of distracted driving. I love it.
It is. Oh, so speaking of new things you're wanting to add, I mean, honestly, this is arguably this game is a game. Like, a lot of early access games that you can find out there, they're not a game yet, necessarily. Or they're so broken that it's really not fun to play them, but we've played this, I think this is our third episode of the show that we've done or not. And we really like this game. So, you know, what happens next, other than, like, more single-player story?
So... right now the focus has basically just been set up the architecture and the infrastructure so that people can find workshop levels, play them if someone is playing them on an online match, make it easy for people to just be able to join in and jump out, and just all of that stuff. So that probably the next major thing we're going to be tackling are actually some critical mode changes and probably some new content. there's a few features that we're considering taking on as like the next big thing. So I guess I'm not currently prepared to say like which one is actually going to be the next big thing, but I think we're gonna do an update a little bit faster than this last one. We kind of hoped that we would have an update halfway through January. Now it's halfway through February, and this update it's so insane. No one's gonna want to read the changelog for it. But it's like ironic in that it's mostly features that if you like played the game and you already kind of enjoyed the content, really all you wanted was more content. It's not gonna be the most amazing update for you, but with a lot of the workshop stuff in mind, we've already kind of like seen like a really good example of one thing I'm passionate about working on, at least sometime down the line, is the stunt mode. I think the Nitronic Rush stunt mode was a bit more fun just purely because there was an announcer and there were like reproducible elements of the trick system, and it was a little bit more complex. They had grinding and a lot of other features, so I'm not 100% sure which features we're going to get in. I think the stunt mode is just going to be quite a bit different, honestly, than what Nitronic had, but that's one I definitely want to make a bit richer. And then there's pretty much always the adventure mode content, single player content, and potentially adding and improving more multiplayer maps. But yeah, I think probably no matter what, it's going to be either a single player focus or a multiplayer focus for the next big update. One of the two. It just depends on which one we're feeling.
Sure, makes sense. Hey, we've got a ton of viewers in the chat. If you guys are not, playing with us, which I think a handful of you are, if you guys have any questions for Torch, let us know. Hey, Trace, what do you got?
Yes. For questions? Well, actually, I want to kind of follow up on the talk of the stunt mode, because before we started here with the stream, I was trying a couple of the stunt levels, including perhaps my favorite stunt mode all time, the Rush 2 map. And all that goes with that. Is there any consideration to maybe limiting wings or limiting any sort of normally what you normally you'd want a bunch of wing, you want a bunch of ability to rotate and roll. Is there any thought of maybe making that a little more difficult or allowing people to make it more difficult on their servers or on their levels for stunts?
Yeah, so like one of the things we're actually also doing with this update, that like the update we're going to be releasing really soon, and I guess I'll toss it out there. You can actually access a lot of these features already. If you go and check out the recent announcements on our Steam page, we talk about this thing called the experimental branch. And since this update's taking forever to test, because it's all about these little fringe cases and 500 different levels in Workshop, all treat everything a little bit differently. But we have a lot of these new like sorting categories and stuff. And one of the things we just added was a difficulty level. Like basically you can actually say whether or not your level is like a casual level or a expert level or a nightmare level. And one of the things we're thinking about also kind of adding in as like a sorting category is just whether or not you have certain abilities enabled and disabled. So levels can actually already currently decide whether or not you want jump or boost or wings enabled or disabled. And I think I just want to basically set it up so that it's a little more like encouraged to experiment with that. Because I definitely think like I've seen there are a couple stunt levels that are inspired by like Rush 2049, and they basically disable everything. They may just disable jump in one of them, but it's like it does change the dynamics of the game a ton, where it's like it's all about getting momentum and you don't really have any like help, you just no wings, no jump, you just basically roll off the thing and try to get the best spin you can get off of that.
Right.
But yeah, it'd be cool if that was a bit more like integrated into the game, where people could like look in the level or level select and be like, oh, this one, these set of levels don't even have jump at all, so they're a bit more of that like hardcore stunt style. Yeah,
right. Because I know distance is its own game, and definitely not criticizing on that. Because I mean, the fluidness of the rotation and all the movement in the car is just utterly slick at this point. But there's also that part of me, I see that level on urine and I'm like, wait a minute, I can flip my car or roll it around. It's too easy. It's all too easy to make stunts.
Yeah, I mean, like
which
if we're gonna,
is wonderful, but
it's weird. The whole game is like one of the best ways to describe it from my perspective is like a majority of racing games are actually about being out of control. You basically like you're just trying to stay on the track. You're trying not to slide off into the dirt, so to speak, or fall off the track or whatever. And our game is all about just almost having too much control. Like, if you fall off the track, well, just fly back on. Oh, you want to, like, you know, avoid a bunch of obstacles, just jump over them or just fly around them. Or, you know, it's like, oh, you randomly found yourself on a building. Well, we're not going to blow you up. You can just figure out how to get back because we have all this control. But it definitely is a completely different dynamic than, like, you know, drifting games and other games, and even like level design wise, a lot of people are just like, you know, it's hard to design around that because you want to put like your start and end zone like right next to each other, but then like have all this stuff in the way. Someone will figure out how to squeeze through it or jump over the building or whatever, and kind of have to think about that stuff. But yeah, it's definitely, I've been working on this style of game since like 2010, and it's still like that much control. Just there's so many possibilities. You can like never really feel like you've exhausted everything.
Yeah, I think really you hit it. The car feels so in control. I actually thought about while you're saying that on a building and maybe can jump off. In a sense, it's almost like kind of like Speed Racer. You have all the tools you need at your disposal. It's just now you have everything in the track in the world throwing you turns at you, screws at you, and it's like instead of saw blades, I just have wings and jumps.
Yeah, it's a really weird like concept just in that like I'll go and play other racing games, and it feels weird in that if they make it pretty easy to drive, and then there's not really anything I have to avoid, then I've been so used to the frantic and, you know, ridiculous nature of our game that it can feel strange. But like I think games that, you know, then go the other route, like Drift Stage is one I really like right now, where it's like
so
basically
Drift Stage.
It's awesome even in its current state. Like I'm just excited to see them do stuff with it because it's not just about the style, but it's also them kind of returning to that concept, just keeping it really, really simple. It's about turning and drifting, and like drifting is the one thing our game doesn't have at all because we opted for this other route of control, but you're kind of out of control at all moments in that game, and then you're trying to maintain control, but then there's like this really satisfying element of that. You know, you do find yourself right in the pocket through the turn, and all of a sudden it's like, I don't know, getting the high score is a completely different sensation.
Yeah, Drift Stage, that is a different beast that I'm still trying to master that.
Yeah.
Chase has put together a pretty slick physics system for just even the first rendition of that, and he says there's more to come, so I'm eagerly awaiting how the heck he's gonna manage to put that together. Yeah. But yeah, totally different. This is like all grip, that's all slide.
Ready up, Trace.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Any thought about increasing the amount of multiplayer people that can be on a server? Just curious.
Yeah, so initially we ended up at 6 almost entirely because, well, for one, I guess the more players you add, the slower the game runs. That was just always an issue. And that's not as big of an issue anymore, actually. It's not in any of the current builds, the experimental or regular build, but it'll be in the next update. We added this like a level of detail system where if the car is like far away from you, it pretty much doesn't even try to calculate any of its information. But we're definitely like, I'd say it's a personal dream of mine to like bump up the number to something insane and then just kind of see it fall apart and then figure out, okay, you know, where's too much? But I don't think we've hit too much yet. The reason we ended up at 6 was partially because of performance, but more than anything was because if you took all of the cars and you put them right next to each other on the track, you can have 6 before someone falls off the edge of the track on either side. So we didn't want to like, you know, start making like a pole position thing where like, okay, there's like these people that are just arbitrarily behind you. And my like, what's the term for it? I had basically been proposing to the team that since there aren't any collisions in the multiplayer right now, we do kind of like what Trackmania does and just spawn everyone in the exact same position. I think for a lot of people that makes sense, but it's still like a little bit awkward, you know. Everybody's like intersecting each other, like. So I don't know. We basically just need to experiment with it. But at the moment, there is like no official plan to increase the number, but I guess I can't promise it if I do try it and it doesn't go very well. But
sure,
I'd love to see more people. I think especially as the community is growing and, you know, servers are filling up, it's possible now for you to have more than 6 people in a match.
Hey guys, there are multiple levels on this track.
Yes, there are.
I didn't
Also,
realize.
I'd be very amused if at some point, and not that I expect this, but if somehow you tried for like 100 people like Trackmania level insanity
God,
and just
so
absolutely clogged up a server and destroyed
Yeah,
a machine in the process.
I just want to do it just to see what on earth happens. It'd be quite the organization to get everybody playing at the same time and do that, but oh yeah, it'd be highly entertaining, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's
So great.
this
Ah.
level's trippy as all get out.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time concentrating on where the heck I am going. Oh, and then the one guy decided to go on to another level. Of course, no one else went there. And it's just like, I need to go find him and get him.
Called finding, the level differences, exploiting them.
Oh, wait, there he was, and now he's gone.
Found it.
Yeah, this level has this weird concept of like, there's a really obvious path of going up the center, but then there are these like areas on the side where if you just ride the wall, you can just go up in between, and it's like weirdly natural. It's a pretty clever design.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I just found that area. That is...
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah, I told you. It's just... Oh, and then you just went... Wait.
I went straight into a blue wall is what happened. It's
Yeah, I was about to say thank you. I'll take that. Next.
welcome. Yes.
Alright. I'm gonna try to hang out up here. Yeah, I mean, so it's funny, I can see when you were talking about people setting or saying and what the difficulty they think that they should be is. Oh gosh. Whoa, that was really cool. So you can actually, there are little areas on the sides of the walls that you can go to, and then you can go to another level that way too. Okay.
Right,
That's crazy.
That's what I was finding.
Oh, I went up the middle because...
Oh, okay, yeah, no. There's a layer beyond the layer. There's onions in here. Just
there are.
the layers.
But yeah, so it just, having the creator of the track come up with difficulty makes me think of some of the issues that, and this, it's not really much of an issue because it's just a terrible surprise, but in, crap, what's that? Wow, this is really...
You're thinking of Trials?
Trials. In Trials, people can do the same. They can choose their own difficulty level for their level, and often people are just, oh, this is an easy, what? And you kind of are going, wait, what are you smoking? This is not an easy.
Yeah, we pretty much already know. Like, we haven't released it where people can actually publish levels like that. But once we get this update out, that's like the very first thing we're going to be watching out for is just basically where people think our current difficulty names like match their levels. And I know that it's going to be really easy for people to basically get really good at their level and then think that it's too easy. It's a classic designer issue basically. You get really good at your own stuff and then you kind of forget that it's impossible for everyone else. But I guess my dream is that we have some way of like flagging content and like, would you agree that this is actually a casual level? But we haven't really figured out how that system would work yet.
Is that part of why you crowdsourced the difficulty names on Twitter a while back? Just because you wanted to try and get names that were more representative, that people wouldn't try, saying, oh, well, this is, really easy for me, and maybe they'd be more sensible about that sort of difficulty choice?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'd say, like, we had been thinking about it for forever, and we had kind of, like, rock band style names, difficulty names that we were kind of just using as temp names for a while, like easy, medium, hard, and expert. And then there's a few games that are like in a similar category, but it's like the vast majority of quote unquote difficulty names are always like first person shooter levels, and the whole concept is just different than this game. Like, so I basically, my hope was that people would give us some kind of a third perspective on like if I said, hey, you're playing a casual level, like what on earth does that mean to you? Does that mean it's boring? Does that mean it's easy? Does that mean it's like, my definition of what a casual level is ironically like almost every level in the workshop that doesn't require jumping. Because most of the time it's just about driving left and right and, no jumping, no flying. So basically, it's just, it's back to like a normal racing game, except, it's fairly easy to control. So basically, you're
what a free-for-all that story is.
Yeah, this is the Rush 2049 level.
Yeah, this is the one I was thinking about earlier. I'm not sure which abilities it enables and disables, but...
Come here,
Looks like
California.
the wings are corrupt and...
Oh, they are.
Interesting.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, especially with tag. Like, if someone can get up somewhere high, then, like, it's gonna be hard to, like, catch up with them.
Yeah.
Haha!
Oh, well, somebody has to get up high and then stay up high. Is the
Yeah, oh god! Well, I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but whatever. Oh, you mean like, nope, stop, back! Nope, couldn't keep it up there. Oh, nice, Icefire. So the chat has actually been weighing in a little bit on this. California has been talking about split screen can keep collision with the horizontal spawn, since 4 max anyway. Might be nice to be able to combine split screen and online, like 2 people playing split screen while on a multiplayer server collision that would be disabled.
Yep.
And then BFA Home has said, BFA Home, maybe have a designer difficulty rating and community difficulty rating separate from each other, probably something that you've already thought of.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, especially, we'll kind of see how it goes. I think for the most part, so the difficulties we ended up with, I think, are casual, normal, advanced, expert, and nightmare.
I think Icefire did it. I think he got up somewhere that is going to challenge us now.
He's
And
doing
now
good.
You gotta fight.
I'm trying to watch where he is.
I'm recognizing recognizing a few of the names, and these players are infinitely more skilled than anyone on our team. So I wish you both the best of luck.
Yeah,
We've been losing.
we've seen a few of them actually. The last time we played, California's a regular. He's played with us before. No, gosh darn it! Icefire's just good. I can't. Urgh.
Yeah, you had a tag tournament not long ago that you were helping watch, or you were at least watching and enjoying. It probably featured a bunch of these guys.
Totally. Yeah, that was really fun to watch. It was also pretty insane that we really had nothing to do with it. Like, we were re-hosting the stream, and I was like, I had no idea what was going to happen. And that's like another one of my many, like, millions of features that I would like to implement more than anything to just support the existing community is the spectator mode. And it's kind of a tall order currently. Like, it'll take a week or two to, like, get a good version of that, but...
I can imagine.
Yeah, that was a blast to watch.
There's a lot of really interesting community stuff I'm seeing around, like, you know, that tag tournament. I'm seeing F-Zero Man freaking everywhere with all his tracks and just absolutely inundating with interesting ideas. Is there anything beyond any of that that has really surprised you with how the community has taken to this game and run with it, basically?
Oh, I could just go on for hours about that. I mean, like, basically, the entire concept of like how this game is being developed has always been centered around the community. Mostly in that when we released Nitronic Rush, the very first thing to kind of note with that is it was a student game, and there were basically no real plans of people outside of our teachers and fellow students playing the game. And there were a couple news articles that picked it up, like just kind of, they didn't talk to us, they just like posted it, like indiegames.com and maybe Rock Paper Shotgun, and it was just like, whoa, real people actually care about the game. And once people started downloading it in mass after we released it, we kind of treated it like a real release and all this stuff. And it was like, I don't even know, it probably wasn't even a month before someone found, I think it was actually F-Zero Man, might have been the first one to do this, found that there was a level editor buried in the debug settings. And that level editor was, I mean, it was probably pretty good by like student standards. I didn't really have much to do with it. I never even really used it, honestly. But I mostly didn't use it because it was terrifying. It was just really rough around the edges, and it required a very technical mind. You had to be pretty creative. We didn't have like this kind of track system where you can just bend the track and stuff. It was like all hard pieces. But anyways, that was at least, you know, from that point it was like a whole new world of people creating community content, and that's just trying to keep up. It's like, okay, what did they create today? You know, you have this whole concept of you made a game, but in reality you made this like tool, and it has infinite more possibilities than people playing the game. So when we did Distance, it was like multiplayer was a pretty natural addition, but the one that we committed ourselves to early on was the level editor, and it took I don't know, it's probably taken like 75% of development time has been something connected to the level editor, either saving and loading levels and making sure that, you know, when people upload stuff to Workshop, that's all handled. And now we're still basically working on it, where it's like the biggest, craziest feature that we've had to implement recently is the auto download thing, where it has to figure out which level it is and what version it is, and if you have the same level but you have actually different versions, it has to check all that stuff and make sure, okay, this person needs to be updated, but this person doesn't because this person's out of date, but they're good enough. And long story short, we're still trying to keep up with community content, and it's like every single day, you know, like this level, like we on our own tracks, we never really disabled jumping, so this was probably the first level I had ever seen. This is also some expert gameplay running backwards here, by the way.
Yeah, fun fact, you can go, I'm pretty sure you can drive as fast backwards as you can forwards. This is my challenge for the rest of this level. I'm glad you noticed.
You've learned too much from Wreckfest, oh my god.
Oh, this is so great.
Man.
I've been going backwards for a while here and actually been doing pretty good. Oh, I got second out of it even. Great.
Nice.
Dumb.
Yeah, there are some levels right now where people are. I've watched Speedy Saturday a couple times. They have this like a group of people that play on Saturday, and they do these events where they take some of the more simple levels, but then they do, you know, they invent their own challenges. They play through the whole level without touching the road. You have to either fly or rotate, or like you have to drive backwards the entire way, or you have to be in first person and drive backwards and stuff like that. Pretty mind-boggling.
All right.
So yeah, we're really struggling to keep up sometimes with how much stuff is going on in the community. It's
imagine.
like it's the best excuse to take a break from actually working on stuff, though.
Can you actually? So did you not put a limiter on the reverse driving, other than the fact that you cannot boost while going in reverse, which I'm slightly disappointed about, given the fact that you can turn your car any direction. Can you actually go as fast as going forward when going backwards?
I'm honestly not sure. I mean, I
Okay.
didn't actually implement the physics for that, so I'd have to ask Jason probably.
Alright.
But it's like, as far as I can tell with how it controls, it does seem to control a little bit different. It's like a little bit twitchier when you're driving backwards.
It does seem to be.
I think there is something a little bit different, but probably for the most part it is the same. The only downside is you can't boost, obviously, going backwards. So
Yeah. Okay, this level is literally okay. I get it now. Wow.
It's
level's
literally a
box.
cube?
Yeah. Ow.
Yeah.
Also,
I've actually like never seen this level before.
I'm
What's
a
this
bit
like?
confused.
This is either something out
It's
of like a
got a
sci-fi
glass
special.
bottom. But it looks like crazy.
Oh, I see. So there, I'm it. Oh, and by the way, you actually go slower on some of the surfaces for some reason. Is that? I'm not sure if that's a. Can you actually make it so that you go slower on certain surfaces?
I don't think you can do that in the editor. I'd be
Okay.
actually pretty impressed if you could change that at all, but
It might be a
there are
gravity
technically
thing.
physics materials. Yeah, that actually
It's gravity.
probably is it. Like, if you're going up and gravity's pulling you down, you're probably going to go a little slower versus the other way around.
Oh God, I feel like I'm going
This Diesel, you don't know which way is down right now.
No, I have no idea which way is any way right now. I'm so
Exactly.
lost.
I think that's why you're slowing down, is because you don't realize that you're going up a wall.
I'm just trying to catch up to Icefire, who is just rocking this thing. I
He is
can't.
incredible.
Twitch, you're driving backwards because the front wheels turn. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I think this track has the drag scale edited with a gravity trigger. Oh, see, fun facts about the editor.
Oh, yeah. So that's another really good example of people doing stuff that we never really thought of. There are people who took
Here you go.
things
Oh.
that modified the gravity, but they didn't use it in like the modifying gravity way. They put it in a weird place, and then you're like pulled a million miles an hour in that direction because it's so strange. There's what is it? F-Zero Man has a Nitro sleigh ride, and then you're like going 100 million miles an hour. And we never like actually opened up the level, but we were just like guessing what on earth he was doing. We thought he had like the level like tilted, and it's like nope, he's using some like crazy gravity thing that we had, or it's like spherical gravity. He like put a spherical gravity like way far away, and apparently it treats that as just as if you're being pulled into the sun.
Great.
Hey.
Hey, by the way, I know which way is down.
Okay, you fall into it?
No, if you just look outside the box. Get it?
Oh.
Look outside the box.
I can look outside, but there's more than one face. There's
There-
like 6.
But they're gigantic arrows,
Oh, okay.
and they point
Oh,
towards
really?
down.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just
That would be
realized that.
useful That's one thing I do have a lot of respect for. Most map makers seem to get the idea of at least marking, when it comes to like racing tracks and all that sort of stuff, marking when you need to flip and which direction to go. I'm really
That's true.
impressed by the community doing
Absolutely.
well by that.
I think I meant.
That is insane.
I guess I meant.
Because I've run into a lot of games, namely, I'm just going to throw it on the bus, Trials, where people just flat out don't, or it was Trials, no, it's other games I've played, I can't recall that time, where they just don't mark where you're supposed to go very well. Probably Trackmania, I think.
Probably, yeah, Trackmania is definitely a big one. I know that,
Yeah, we played it
goodness
once.
sakes, concentrating. Yeah, we did play Trackmania once. Why am I drawing a blank on the name? We were talking about it earlier today, the Bugbear game.
Oh, gosh, you mean, Flat Out?
Yeah, no,
Wreckfest?
no,
Oh,
but
not-
that is,
Oh, sorry, that's not.
we're coming back to, no, the one where you can make levels in.
Okay, I'm at a loss here. I don't know a Bugbear game where you can make your own levels.
Wasn't that a Bugbear game? Didn't Bugbear
Oh,
make?
you mean, Ridge Racer Unbounded?
Yeah, they made
the
I'm
new
sorry,
Ridge
that
Racer?
was a Bugbear game.
That was a Bugbear game, but yeah, that Ridge Racer Unbounded, it was also sometimes they kind of arbitrarily made places that ended up nowhere, kind of.
Yeah. See, for me,
yeah.
there's only 2 Bugbear games I recall, other than Wreckfest, I guess, now, but it's either Flat Out or Rally Trophy, so you kind of lost me
Sure,
there, sorry.
gotcha. Yeah, we need to play more Wreckfest.
Yeah.
That's the game. Well, we need to go back to the
Fire
lobby.
killing it again.
We have done all of the maps that we downloaded, actually.
Wow.